The Casio F91W is the greatest, most iconic watch of all time. It is the pinnacle of horology. There's probably no better watch for the money in existence. And in a lot of ways, it still kind of sucks. Today we're going to be taking a look at another cheap Casio digital watch that, for my money, pretty much blows the F91W out of the water. Today we're checking out the Casio W-217H. Hey guys, welcome back to Just the Watch. My name's Dave, and this is a channel all about budget watch collecting. So if you like watches but don't have a lot of money, this is the channel for you. Now, pretty much every watch guy on YouTube loves the Casio F91W, and not without good reason. Again, it is probably the best watch for the money that you can get. For about 10 bucks, it gives you absolutely everything you could hope for out of a watch. And in so many ways, it just kind of makes $100,000 luxury watches look absolutely absurd. And I've done a review of it. I was pleasantly surprised by it, and I can see why so many people like it. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of things about the F91W that could be improved, and Casio actually has some other watches that I think are a pretty big improvement over it. The one we're looking at today, the Casio W-217H, pretty much corrects all the problems I had with the F91W, and it only costs like $20. So it's not a big step up in price. So here's the advantages that this one has over the F91W in my opinion. Better water resistance. This one bumps it up to 50 meters of water resistance from the F91W's 30. You're getting a much better backlight. The backlight in the F91W is barely usable, and sometimes not even that. I would find myself waking up in the middle of the night with kind of blurry eyes, and the light just wasn't bright enough to actually read the watch. This one, I have no problems with this. It's a much better backlight. This one has real spring bars, so if you want to change over to like a NATO strap or something like that, it's much easier to do on this one than whereas the F91W, they had this kind of friction-based bar that you would have to push out and kind of slide back in. Is a little bit finicky. I think the strap on this one's a little bit better too. It feels more comfortable, a little bit softer plastic, resin, rubber material, or whatever they're using for it. And finally, the size. For me, the F91W is just too small. I have a 7.5-inch wrist. It's just something that I didn't really feel like looked good on my wrist. It was super comfortable because of that size, but I feel like this one just fits my wrist better. The W217H comes in at 39 millimeters across, 43 millimeters lug to lug, and about 10.5 millimeters thick. You're also getting 18 millimeter lugs, so if you do want to swap over to like a NATO or a leather strap, there's a lot of options there. I feel like stylistically this one looks a lot like the F91W. It retains a lot of that kind of nostalgic 80s, early 90s charm that the F91W had. And like the F91W now, there are a lot of different colors and options for this. The one that I have is a silver colored case with a black dial, so it's got the negative display. And then pretty clean writing on it. The color writing's not a bunch of different colors, it's just sort of a monochrome look. So very slick kind of look to it. But again, still very much retaining a lot of that retro feel that makes the F91W so much fun to wear. But because it comes in a bigger package, again, I feel like it wears much better on someone with my wrist size. I have a 7.5-inch wrist, and yeah, I didn't wear the F91W that much because of that. Functions on this one are pretty much the same as the F91W. You are getting time that can be displayed in either 12-hour time or 24-hour time. You're getting an alarm. You're getting an hourly chime that can be activated or deactivated, and you're getting a stopwatch. Additionally, you're getting a backlight that works amazing. It's just a really great backlight. You know, talking about the backlight in particular, it's incredibly functional. It lights up nice and bright. Aesthetically, it could be a little bit better. It's definitely brighter on the left side of the screen than on the right side, so you can see the light kind of coming from there. Yeah, it would have looked cooler if it was a more even glow, and I feel like maybe Timex has that down a little bit better with their Indiglow feature, but this one is completely functional, very easy to read, nice kind of pleasant orange glow, which again I feel gives it kind of more of a retro look to it. But these other features in this digital watch, they are incredibly useful. If you primarily use mechanical watches or analog watches like I do, it's kind of refreshing going back to a digital watch. It's so easy to swap over and start the stopwatch. That alarm is actually a really useful thing for setting reminders or even just trying to wake up in the morning. And also that hourly charm is surprisingly useful. For someone like me, I tend to get distracted very easily and I can lose track of time. And so if I have my watch beeping every hour, that kind of helps me to be more mindful of what time it is and to realize what's going on. I'm like, oh, I need to get to work, that kind of stuff. So if you're like me, that can be actually a pretty useful thing for productivity. Legibility on the digital display is good, even though this is the negative display. It's still very easy to read. You know, there are some lighting situations where it can be a little bit difficult, but if it does get too dim or something, or you get an awkward angle, you can always hit the light to light it up and make it easier to see. I do have another Casio watch that has the same module but in a positive display, and the display on that one is slightly easier to read, but I feel like this one's not really a problem. On the wrist, this watch is very comfortable. It's not quite as comfortable as the F91W. The F91W just completely disappears. It's almost like, feels like wearing one of those paper bracelets they put on your wrist at events where it's just so light and not even like you're wearing a watch. This one, it feels like you're wearing a very lightweight digital watch. It's very comfortable. Again, the strap is fairly soft and supple for what they're offering, so kind of surprised there. But you do know you're wearing a watch when you have this one on. One final thing to note, both the case and the crystal are plastic. The case is silver colored on this version. Don't let that fool you into thinking that it's a metal case. The case back is metal, but the watch itself is plastic, as is the crystal over it. So it is going to pick up scratches. But that's really kind of the whole point of watches like this. You know, these are the ones that you wear when you don't care if they're going to get scratches. You know, you can just wear them for whatever. For me, it's kind of a great around the house kind of watch just because, again, it's comfortable, it's easy to read. I can use it after dark with the light. It's got alarms on it. Just, you know, really nice, convenient, comfortable watch. And again, cool sort of retro style. It is definitely a fun watch to wear in addition to being so cheap. So for my money, this is a watch that I really like. You know, for this like $20 price range, super cheap Casio. Again, I much prefer it to the F91W. Now, if you're interested in these kind of cheap Casio digital watches, definitely invite you to hit the subscribe button because I am going to be trying to do reviews of these fairly frequently. They're super cheap. There's so many different ones out there. I kind of want to get a feel for them. So if I can do kind of quick reviews and, you know, bring these on a regular basis, I'd love to show you guys and see if we can find any good ones out there. If you guys have any particular ones you think I should look at, again, cheaper the better. But, you know, anything in the sort of sub $100 range, yeah, drop me a comment down below. Let me know which ones you think I should take a look at. I've kind of got a list of ones I'm interested in. Would love to hear what you guys are interested in as well. So maybe this will become a new segment. We can call it the Casio Quick Look or something like that. Anyways, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.